Hello dear students, in this lecture we are going to discuss about generation of three-phase AC voltages. You are familiar with the generation of a single-phase AC voltage where a single coil is placed between the north and south poles and we get an EMF of this format. V is equal to Vm sin omega t. As you all know, when the conductors A2 and A1 which form the coil are in this position, you consider this position as omega t equal to 0 position, and the flux linking with the coil is maximum. Here the EMF induced is 0 in this position, and as the coil is rotated with an angular frequency omega between the poles, you can see the variation of EMF induced in the coil, which is sinusoidal. It will reach a maximum value when the conductors A1 comes under the north pole and A2 is under the south, influence of south pole under the poles, and as it rotates and A1 reaches here and A2 conductor is here, after half rotation it reaches back a 0 value here. Then again after 270 degree of rotation, the EMF induced is negative maximum and it comes back to 0 after 360 degree of rotation of this coil. Now let us see how three-phase voltages are generated. Three-phase voltages means you have three identical coils. Now we have renamed that A1 conductor as R1, R2, and there are two other coils Y1, Y2 and B1, B2 which are identical in construction to the coil R1 and R2, but these coils are displaced from R1 and R1 R2 coil by 120 degree each. You can see that if this is R1, this is R1 R2 coil, Y1 is displaced from this particular R1 by 120 degree. This is 120 degree, and B coil is displaced from Y1 by another 120 degree or 240 degree from R1. What will happen if coils are placed in such a manner and rotated again at an angular frequency omega? You know, the EMF induced in the coil R1, R2, that which is, I am calling it as VR, it will be given by this waveform, the sinusoidal waveform. What about the EMF induced in the coil Y1, Y2? It is this Y1, Y2 coil is reaching the position of R1, R2 after 120 degree rotation only, which means if I divide this time period of 360 degree into intervals of 60 degree each, this Y1, Y2 will be in the position of R1, R2 after 120 degree of rotation, which means this 0 position of Y1 will be after 120 degree. And if you draw the waveform, it will look somewhere like this. Or it will take a peak value. It will take a peak value after 120 degree only. Why? This Y1 will reach this position 120 degree after this R1 reaches this position. That is, there is a lagging of 120 degree in the voltages induced in the coil Y1 when it is compared with the coil R1, R2. What about the coil B1, B2? It is displaced from R1, R2 coil by 240 degree. This angle, this particular angle is 120, which is 120, which is 240 degree. What does that mean? This B1 conductor will reach the same position as R1, or B2 conductor will reach the position as R2 after 240 degree only, or the 0 position of this conductor B1 when 0 voltage is induced in the conductor B1 after 240 degree only. If this is 120, this is 240 degree, or the waveform will be lagging behind. The waveform will be lagging behind the R phase waveform by an angle 240 degree. So how will the equations get modified here? We are going to take this VR voltage as reference. Okay, so VR is Vm sine omega t. What about Vy? Vy will be Vm. You can observe this waveform and tell that this is Vm sine omega t minus 120 degree. What about Vb? Vb will be lagging behind VR by 240 degree. So Vb will be expressed as Vb equal to Vm sine omega t minus 240 degree. Okay. So these are the three phase voltage waveforms which we have drawn just now. VR is expressed here. Vy is lagging behind VR by 120 degree and Vb is lagging behind this by 240 degree. So these are the expressions here. Okay. Now, how will you express this voltage in phasor form? As I said, VR is taken as reference here. So this VR is taking a magnitude Vm. You can see the magnitudes of these voltages are the same. Vm sin omega t, Vm sin omega t minus 120 and Vm sin omega t minus 240. Why are these amplitudes same? Because these coils are considered to be identical coils. Construction, the length of the coil, the area of cross section of the coil, number of turns of the coil, etc. These parameters are identical and the flux linking with the coil, the magnitude of the flux linking with all these coils are the same. Therefore, the EMF induced magnitude is the same, which means the phasors will be represented with phasors of equal magnitude, but they are displaced by an angle of 120 degree. So Vy will be lagging behind VR by an angle of 120 degree and Vb will be lagging behind VR by an angle of 240 degree. Please note that you can draw the phasor diagram using amplitude as well as the RMS value. Even if you divide this magnitude by a factor of root 2, you can draw the phasor diagram. So it is not necessary, or it is not strict that you have to draw the phasor diagram using the maximum value itself. You can represent the phasor diagrams using its RMS value also. So here you can also observe that if you take the resultant of VR and VB, what is the result? VR, this phasor VR plus phasor VB, what do you get? You draw, complete a parallelogram here, and the diagonal of this parallelogram will be the resultant of VR and VB. You can see the magnitude of VR plus VB is 2 Vm cos 60, or it is equal to Vm here. What is 60? 60 is the angle. This angle will be 60 degree. So the resultant of VR and VB will be Vm itself. What about this Vy? Vy is also having a magnitude of Vm, but in the opposite direction to the resultant of VR and VB, which means these two will cancel out. Or if you take the sum of these vectors VR, Vy and VB, you will get it as 0. Since the three voltages are equal in magnitude but displaced by 120 degree, you can see that from this figure the resultant of VR plus VB plus Vy, phasor sum we are talking about, will be equal to 0. Or three-phase balanced voltage signals, if you consider, these are known as balanced three-phase voltage signals. If you take the resultant of these three, you will phasor sum of these three, you will get it as 0. Now, how will you notate these quantities in complex form? You can represent VR in polar form as Vm angle 0. We have taken it as the reference vector. Okay. And in j omega, in real and imaginary format, you can see it as Vm plus j0. Vy is Vm angle minus 120. You can express in real and imaginary form like this. Then Vb, Vm is Vm angle minus 240. You can convert it into complex form. Vm minus 0.5 plus j 0.866. This expression also, if you take this phasor sum of these expressions, this is VR, Vy, Vb. You can check in your calculator, you can verify it is again coming to 0 here. Now, what do you mean by phase sequence? The first figure is what we have drawn previously, that is VR. Vy is lagging behind VR by 120 degree and Vb is lagging behind VR by 240 degree. So this rotation, this particular direction of rotation of the coils placed in this particular figure is giving you a sequence R followed by Y followed by B, R, Y, B phase sequence. What will happen if you change the direction of rotation? If you change the direction of rotation of this particular coil, instead of the anti-clockwise rotation, if you change the direction to clockwise, what will happen is the direction of induced EMF in the coils will change. That is, what will happen is that if we are taking VR as a reference, then B phase will be lagging behind VR by 120 degree and Vy will be lagging behind VR by another 240 degree, or the phase sequence will change to RBY. Okay, so if you want to change the phase sequence, it is the only thing that you have to do is change the direction of rotation of the coils which are placed under the magnetic field. Now we'll see some of the important points which indicate the advantages of the three-phase systems. For transmitting the same amount of power at the same voltage, a three-phase transmission line requires less conductor material than single-phase line. So this is the most important advantage why we are going from single-phase systems to three-phase systems. I have already mentioned in the class, you can see the power supply which you get at home. You have single phase loads at home and you need single phase supply. So have you ever thought why the transformer, the distribution transformer which is placed in our neighborhood, why is it transforming? Why is it three-phase type, not single phase? Why? Because for transmission of power, it is always economical to have three-phase transmission compared to single-phase transmission. So what is done at the transformer side? The three-phase high voltage is transformed to a lower voltage level, and this lower voltage level three-phase low voltage which you get is taken to our home loads in the form of single-phase supply. Now, for a given amount of power transmitted through a system, the three-phase system requires less conductors with smaller cross-sectional area. We are not going into the detailed calculations of this particular point, but you have to understand that this will give a saving of copper if you use three-phase system, and therefore original installation costs are less. Then if you consider a polyphase machine, or if a three-phase machine, you can see polyphase machines can give higher output than single-phase machines for a given frame size. For a given size of the machine, it can give higher output. Then polyphase induction motors, you will see these points in explanation for these points in detail in higher semesters when you learn about induction machines and other AC machines. These are self-starting and more efficient three-phase induction motors, whereas single-phase induction motor is not self-starting. You need some other methods for starting the single-phase induction motors. Then comparing with single-phase motor, three-phase induction motor has higher power factor and efficiency. Then three-phase motors are very robust, relatively cheap, smaller, and have self-starting properties and provide a steadier output and require little maintenance compared with single-phase motors. Because of these advantages associated with three-phase systems, we are going for three-phase power supply systems compared to single-phase AC systems. Okay, with this I am stopping this lecture on generation of three-phase AC voltages. We will go into the detailed analysis of three-phase supply systems and loads in the upcoming lectures. Thank you.